Have you ever wondered how Elon Musk has become successful? Well, welcome! Today we're gonna watch a video and react to Elon Musk, how to achieve 10 times more than your peers. I'm really excited because I don't really know much about Elon Musk, but I absolutely love him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanna be like Elon Musk, you know? So, we'll see what he has to say, because he's kind of credible given how successful he is. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and please be sure to check out okep.com. It's a very cute in Vogue clothing store that will come out really soon, and if you click the link down below and join the email list, you will get very cool discounts, and you will be the first to the gold. Alright, let's get into it.
In 500 years, we may look back and say Elon Musk was the single most influential person of our entire century.
I would so believe that. I feel like Elon Musk is gonna be one of those people where it's like he's in the history books, like Albert Einstein level.
He's been able to do more in his 46 years than most of us could hope to do in 10 lifetimes. And yes, part of that is because Elon is incredibly smart and he works incredibly hard.
And we're so hot up, we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night. Work hard, like, I mean, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company.
I wonder how many hours he sleeps. I would guess like 3-4 hours, because he's like a machine.
But working 100 hours a week still only puts you at 2.5 times as much as the average employee. And most geniuses do not make the international impact that Elon has. In fact, the man with the highest IQ in the world, Chris Lagan, is a bouncer. So while smarts and work ethic are critical to Elon's success, in order to impact the world, you simply have to be able to influence other people. There's no way around it. That includes
knowing how to socialize and being fun and being friendly and kind of like salesman stuff, like you gotta know how to talk about what you do, I guess. Kind of pitch it.
Employees, investors, and the public at large. And Elon Musk is unique here, because on this channel we can normally point to a leader's ability to nail a public speech. For instance, take the way that Steve Jobs controls silence in this next clip.
Oh my gosh, I love Steve Jobs! I wrote a whole essay on the rhetoric in one of his speeches at college. I hated that essay. I hate rhetorical essays, but Steve Jobs is amazing!
And we believe that in this world, people can change it for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do.
But Elon doesn't have the same presentation ability as Jobs. While he definitely has moments of wit and humor, he often stumbles over his words or speaks without modulating his voice, and he tends to use a lot of fillers like and
It was not because I wanted to, it's because I couldn't hire anyone. Nobody good would join. Ended up being that.
That's me during a school presentation.
Being that by default. And
none of this is meant as a criticism. It's meant to point out how special it is that Elon is actually more famous and more sought out than most extroverted rock stars on the planet. Which is why in this video we're going to break down what you can do to make that kind of impact on people so that you can achieve 10 times more than your peers.
Yeah, see, you don't have to be an extrovert to be successful, like to figure out how to influence people. You just gotta struggle with the pain.
And I will say, though, brushing up on presentation skills is still going to be important for most people, so I'm going to link to helpful videos now in the corner and in the description. First off, one thing that we just have to acknowledge is how gifted and hardworking Elon is. He was writing computer programs as a child, and his work ethic has only improved since then. This next sentence is coming from a man with 5 children running 3 companies.
I had no idea he had 5 kids. Oh my gosh. I wonder what their lives are like, you know? Dang, 5 kids and they're all boys? Does he have like a nanny or something? Cause I don't see how the mother could like handle that, you know? And Elon's obviously busy, so dang.
I'm available 24/7 to help solve issues. Right. Call me 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I don't care.
But even all that brain power and hard work isn't enough to avoid failure. In fact, the higher that you set your sights, the more likely you are to fail repeatedly along the way. Which means an absolutely critical component of high achievement is dogged perseverance in the face of failure. And without a doubt, Elon Musk has failed more spectacularly and at a higher cost than anyone who will watch this video.
Facts. You gotta fail in order to succeed. That's just the way of life. Kind of like the graphic he showed. Like, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, and you're not gonna get anywhere. You're too much in your comfort zone, you know? You gotta push forward. You gotta move. You gotta fall to get back up and get to a new place called success.
Take SpaceX. The first 3 rockets at SpaceX didn't work as they had planned. He burned through $100 million of his own money and was still going bankrupt. Or Tesla. When they IPO'd in 2010, Jim Cramer said this.
You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing. I think Tesla will have the same trajectory as A123, which we told you would have a great first day pop when it came public, but then would be a dud afterwards.
In 2012, nearly 10 years after Tesla was founded, Mitt Romney, who was running for president, told the nation that Tesla was a loser.
But don't forget.
That is insane. I didn't know that happened. Imagine that. That must have hurt so bad. Oh my gosh, that must have been so bad for the company.
You put $90 billion, like 50 years worth of breaks into solar and wind. To Solyndra and Fisker and Tesla and Enter1. I mean, I had a friend who said you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers.
Have you ever spent 5 years of 100-hour weeks and all of your money on something and then still had it not work? Have you spent 10 years on a project and then still been publicly ridiculed as a dud?
Jeez, okay, he wins. Dang. Jeez. That is insane. I've never thought of, like... That is a huge, like, letdown failure. Like, because if you work 10 years on something, it's like, it has to work. And then it failed. That's like 10 years of your life. That's insane.
And have you persevered in spite of all of that? Most of us have not and would not. So where does Elon's perseverance come from? Well, it's because business failure would not bother him nearly as much as a failure to do something challenging, worthwhile, and exciting.
And there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. You know, life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point?
Facts. We gotta live. We gotta do something. There's nothing. What's the point? It's like, that's why I love being busy, because it's like, okay, there's a point to living right now.
There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living.
When Elon's talking about problems here, he means the daily things that occupy most of us, like getting by at work, earning more money, making sure that other people approve of our decisions.
Yes! Oh my gosh, we don't need that. Toxic. We don't need that. Push it away. Shove it away. Let's join Elon Musk.
Ask yourself, what has guided your decisions? Feeling financially comfortable, being widely respected, or doing something that inspires and excites you? There's no wrong answers here, but people who achieve at a high level almost always view not doing something impactful as a much bigger risk than financial or social failure.
You gotta love what you do, bro. If you don't love what you do, that just seems like such a sad life, you know? Because it takes so many hours of your time, you know? Like, you gotta do what you want to do. You can't just live off of the fear of not having enough money or wanting to be accepted and all that. Like, you do you. It's kind of the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. I'm making a video about motivation fairly soon, so stay tuned. But being motivated because of fear and like struggles and scarcity versus being motivated because you actually love it, you are gonna do so much better when you absolutely love it and you're passionate about it. For example, I've had 2 teachers that have been so passionate about their jobs and the subject that they teach that they have thrived and gotten awards for their teaching versus the other teachers who don't seem as passionate about it. I'm not saying that they don't love it, but they're definitely not as passionate about it and they don't love it as much as they do, which is why these 2 passionate teachers thrive and are doing so well, and they have taught me so much versus the ones that are just like, yeah.
It's not that they don't care about those things. It's that not feeling like they are doing deeply meaningful work is far worse to them. Which brings us to the second point, vision. Because without a clear vision for the future, it's really hard to care more about inspiration than paying your rent, for instance, or the criticism of your entire peer group. So here was Elon's vision for SpaceX.
If you consider 2 futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system. I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring.
Interestingly, this wasn't always the vision for SpaceX, even though that was Elon's end goal. He just wanted to inspire other people to pursue space travel by doing one smaller project on Mars that would spark their imaginations.
I came up with this little small philanthropic mission, which would be to send a small greenhouse to the surface of Mars. It's called Mars Oasis. And there, upon landing, the seeds would be in dehydrated nutrient gel, hydrated upon landing, and you'd have this little greenhouse, and then the money shot would be, green plants against a red background.
Regardless of the specifics, a leader must be able to paint a picture of a desirable future. That's what puts the vision in visionary. And it's how they persist through the inevitable setbacks, and it's how they encourage other people in their organization to do the same. That's really what took us to the moon in the first place.
That is so cool. I never thought of that. Like you gotta be imaginative. You gotta think outside the box, Or think so inside the box that it still works. I've seen stuff like that too.
Send to the moon, 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not...
I wonder what it was like for the people thinking oh my gosh, they're gonna try to go to the moon, what the crap, sketchy.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
So if you want to achieve, you need a vision. But how do you get a vision if you don't have one? Well, you start by exploring. You travel. You say yes to activities outside of your comfort zone. And very importantly, in my opinion, you read. Because many of the most influential people in the world point back to a specific book that shaped their vision. Just listen to Elon talk about a book that he read as a kid.
Like the Foundation series from Asimov is one of the best ever.
That book, by the way, is about a scientist who creates a foundation for reducing human suffering and expanding human consciousness across the galaxy.
That is so interesting. I never really thought of that. I always thought, yes, reading is so important, but you gotta read the, financial books or the business books, not, the fantasy or whatever books, that you just read for fun. But, dang, I never thought, oh my gosh, that opens up your creativity and your imagination for stuff like this. That's really cool.
Sound familiar? Now, books hold a special place in my heart, but your vision doesn't have to come from reading. It can come from watching movies or listening to podcasts, playing sports, hiking in the woods, spending time with people that you love. What's important is that you would expand your sphere of influence and frequently ask yourself, if I had a magic genie and anything were possible, what would I like to create? That kind of question helps you break through the, yeah, but it would never work filter that so many people have. And of course, not everything you dream up is going to wind up working out, but almost every inspiring vision feels impossible in some way. Even mine for Charisma on Command felt like a total pipe dream just a year before it became my reality. So start with wild visions that get you excited and only later ask yourself if they're feasible. Elon actually uses a first principle analysis to determine this, but that is beyond the scope of this video, so look it up on Google if you're curious for more. Because there is one more element that I want to touch on here that really takes Elon Musk to the next level in terms of what he's able to achieve and how he's able to influence others. And it's that his visions aren't just about him. There is no Musk Industries.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because when you do a business, it's not, you have to focus on your customers, on your people, what it's going to do for your customers, not just what it's going to do for you. Because if you're focusing on you, people always kind of figure out and get the vibe of what you're doing it for. So if you're doing it for you or for money, people are going to tell based off of how you market it or how you talk about it. But if you're actually doing it for the customers, it's going to be a really nice product or a really nice service because you're focusing on them and you really want it to be good for them, so it will end up being more successful.
Industries. Tesla is named after an inventor from the 1800s. The rocket from SpaceX is named after the Millennium Falcon. And the Boring Company, well, that's just a silly play on words. The point is that Elon doesn't seem as concerned with his name as Tony Stark, who he's often compared to. Even more unique, Elon's goal isn't just for his businesses to win. Of course, he would like that. But listen to how Elon Musk talks about GM competing with Tesla.
I love how he's compared to Tony Stark. That's so cool. Imagine being compared to Tony Stark. That's insane because, oh my gosh. The only difference is Elon Musk seems like kind of introverted, like a much more caring person, and Tony Stark is very narcissistic, egotistical.
I think if GM comes to the market with a compelling electric car, that's great. The goal of Tesla from the beginning has been to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport. So, I think if GM or any other company comes out with compelling electric cars, that's good for the world, and we would applaud them.
In other words, Musk's overarching vision for the future views humanity collectively. In the end, we're all on the same team. That's why, in addition to just rooting for GM, he actually made Tesla's patents public. Now, obviously, Elon would like Tesla to succeed as a company, but he really also wants humanity to have an economically viable electric car, no matter who makes it happen. Contrast that with any number of other businesses, and I'm sure you can think of a few, that pursue profits at the expense of what would be best for society.
That's really cool. I love that. I love that so much. Now I want to buy a Tesla just because Elon Musk is really cool and nice.
So remember this. Your vision can only be as inspiring as the amount of people that it positively impacts. Elon's visions include all of humanity, so he's become a worldwide celebrity despite not being the world's greatest public speaker.
Facts! Okay. Dang, that's the best way to put it.
And if you want to make a bigger impact and inspire more people, you have to ask yourself, who would it be fulfilling to help?
So pretty much like target market kind of stuff. Like, who are you targeting? What's the purpose? What's the plan? How are you going to help them? Why would they care?
Your answer can be all of humanity, or kids, or your local community, or whoever you want. But if your aim is to inspire others and to achieve more, the vision just has to go beyond your own comfort. There's no way around it. So to recap back to front, since that's actually the way that this stuff gets implemented in your life, first, you have to clarify your values.
Alright, that's just to sum up. I'm gonna stop the video there. Oh yeah, so I like that video. I definitely feel like that definitely helps Elon Musk, but I feel like there is definitely more to the achievements he's had. Like, he is insane with work ethic and intelligence. I couldn't imagine. Oh my gosh. Wow. But yeah, that's the video. That's Elon Musk. That's pretty cool. I didn't really know who Elon Musk was kind of as a person. I didn't know he was introverted or bad at public speaking. That's so interesting. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button. Or if you didn't enjoy it, please be sure to hit the thumbs down button. I would really love to know to make my videos better for you guys. And I will see y'all next time.
Check it out.